You're listening to the Mindset Forge podcast. I'm Barton Bryan, your host. This is all about helping men 40 to 60 maximize this chapter of your life. So many things can go wrong in this chapter. Your health, your overall just like metabolism, testosterone's falling. And if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not doing all the things you can do right now to be disciplined, focused, strong, healthy, all those things, your body will deteriorate quickly. And so I'm here to help you really maximize this chapter of life by taking it and figuring out how to be disciplined, build daily habits, get back to the gym, get strong, get lean, and really make this the best chapter of your life. Because this is the chapter that you're king. You are meant to be king right now because you have not just the physique and the physicality to stay strong and lead others, but you also have the experience and the wisdom that comes from the first 40 years of your life. When you were 20, you were strong, you had all this energy, the energy of youth, but no experience. And probably for a lot of us, including myself, maybe too much ego, maybe too much, kind of self-assured arrogance that I could do it all by myself or that we can do it alone. We understand now, hey, we're better together, work as a team, collaborate, but we have to show up at our best so that we can take care of others well, lead others well. But we have to start with us. We got to lead ourselves well. So today I'm focused on one topic. I want to really hammer this home so that each of you can be practicing this over the course of the next week. Okay. And it's all about keeping the promises we make to ourselves. Sounds like an easy one, right? But think about it. If you have a mentor, somebody who you idolize or that you really feel like is like kind of further along in their career, you want to be where they're at, and you call them up and say, hey, I'd love to have lunch with you. They set up a time, you go have lunch. You're going to be there on time, if not early. You're excited. You're going to make sure that commitment happens. Like when we covet the relationship we have with somebody, especially in an early time where you're dating somebody, oh my goodness, you are so excited. You're prepped. You're thinking of all the things you're going to say, all that kind of stuff, right? We do so much to prepare and to be ready because we don't want to disappoint that person. Right? And even when it comes to weight loss or getting in shape, one of the things that people say is like, hey, tell someone you're going to lose weight. Tell someone you have a goal, right? Because there's accountability around somebody else knowing what your goal is versus like keeping it internalized. Like if nobody knows that you're actually on a weight loss journey, you can fail and nobody will know and you won't feel as bad. But I think at first that might make some sense, but I'm going to challenge the entire concept. Because here's what I believe. When it comes down to true discipline, true habit forming, and true like self-respect, that can only come not by pleasing others or showing others that you have the ability to do it, but by turning that inside and showing yourself time and time again that you have the self-discipline and the self-respect to say, if I've said I'm going to the gym tomorrow morning, I'm going to the gym tomorrow morning. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you can do that 10,000 times, 10,000 little promises you make to yourself, you will be a very disciplined man, right? There's a lot of talk about, 10,000 hours to become an expert or a master in something. So I'm just using the same concept here. I believe it's 10,000 commitments, 10,000 promises that you keep. So a promise in this space, in the fitness space, in the mindset space is going to be something like going to the gym, eating well, getting to bed early. That's one we miss a lot, right? We can do all those other things. Sometimes it's about getting a good night's sleep that tends to fall by the wayside, right? Doing those things. If you said you're going to get to bed by 9 o'clock, get to bed by 8:45, have your phone off so that you're falling asleep by 9 o'clock, right? Those things matter. And the more of those you can keep for yourself, keep those commitments to yourself, the more disciplined you're going to be. And the more you will believe that when you say something, it's coming true, right? And that's self-confidence. Knowing that if you say you're going to do something, it's going to get done and it's going to get done well, right? And if you're already going to the gym and saying to yourself, I got to get up and go to the gym tomorrow morning is not hard for you, right? Good. But here's the thing. There's another level, right? You can think about your workouts and say to yourself, what's one or two things that I don't always do, But when I do them, they're hard, they're uncomfortable. I don't love them, but I know they're good for me, right? Intervals right now for me. Hey, getting to the gym, doing some interval sprints on leg day, right? Maybe that's what I need to be doing, right? I don't often do it. I enjoy the working out. I enjoy the weight room and the whole experience. What can I add in there to make my workout a little bit more juicy, a little bit more difficult? And also say to myself, when I go to the gym today, I'm going to make sure I do this, right? Or I'm doing my cardio at the end, because it's easy after a 90-minute workout, you're tired. You want to just kind of go take a shower, go jump in the sauna, whatever. Can I do 20 minutes of Stairmaster at that moment, at the end of the workout? Like, that would be something that I might throw on myself. And then I've got to keep that commitment to myself. And each of us has to do this. And it's not about telling somebody else. Don't tell your spouse. Don't tell your kids. It doesn't matter. We're talking about true self-control, self-discipline, self-motivation. And that comes from you saying to yourself internally, or writing it down, put it in your phone, doesn't matter. But this shouldn't end up on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. It shouldn't matter to anybody else. It's about you, right? So make 3 commitments today. Make 3 promises to yourself around the world of your health and fitness, right? Maybe that's how you're going to eat. And a lot of times, I'll tell you, the weekdays sometimes are more disciplined, more regimented. We get to the weekend, and eating well can be a harder situation, right? Especially if we're invited to some dinner or we're traveling a little bit, those things can come up. And it's going to take a lot more discipline sometimes to be able to do that well and eat well, even when you're the guest at somebody's dinner. And it would be easy to just say, oh yeah, I'll have that and this and that and the mac and cheese and the dessert and all that kind of stuff. It would feel that sometimes that almost feels like we're being a good guest when we accept that kind of stuff. But I promise you, they don't care what you eat, and you will care if you said to yourself, I'm going to eat healthy at this dinner, and you show up and you eat the mac and cheese. And I'm not hating on mac and cheese, but I'm kind of hating on mac and cheese because there's very little value to me in somebody eating mac and cheese. It's not a great choice, right? Those things matter. It matters. My God, it matters. You're going to wake up the next morning, feel heavy, a little bloated, lethargic, you had a couple of drinks. That whole night before, you're going to feel down on yourself because you knew you could have made a stronger choice and you didn't, right? And that is the type of commitment I want you to make to yourself, that kind of promise, right? You might have to just parcel out the day. Hey, you know what? I'm going to eat good for lunch. I'm going to make sure I get my protein intake for lunch. Right? I'm going to make sure I get to the gym. I'm going to make sure I get my cardio in. Whatever those little commitments are, you need right now to take them very seriously. Because I promise you, your heart of hearts, the who you that you really are, is keeping score. And every time you say to yourself, I'm going to go for a run tonight, and you kind of look at your watch, and I'm tired, my feet hurt a little bit, and you don't do it, your internal self-confidence, the little guy inside is like, I guess I'm not there yet. Guess that's not me. Guess I'm not that guy, right? It chips away at your internal self-confidence, right? And Ed Mylett said in a podcast, I love Ed Mylett's stuff. Check it out if you haven't checked him out before. He says, self-confidence comes from keeping the agreements you make with yourself, right? I love it. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, we have to keep the commitments or the agreements or the promises we make to ourselves every time we say we're going to do something, whether it's showing up for our family, whether it's showing up at the gym, whether it's going on a run, whether it's eating well, sleeping well, drinking enough water, all the things, right? If we stack those up day after day after day after day, month after month, year after year, in 2-3 years, 10,000 promises later, you are one badass motherfucker, right? Because you say you're going to do something and you do it. And there's very few people on this planet, I don't care what age, that are like that. It is the single thing that I want you thinking about right now. Think about it, write about it, process this information, because I promise you, it may be the reason that you're failing at times that you wish you were succeeding. It may be the thing that's truly holding you back from getting to that next level. Because if you can do this for yourself, if you can keep commitments to yourself without anybody else knowing about it, I promise you are going to be more self-confident, more disciplined, and you will start to feel a momentum, a strength, power that you can tap into when times get hard and when you still, amidst the chaos of your life, you still get shit done. That's all for today. That is my single point for this podcast. It's all about keeping the commitments, the agreements, the promises to yourself. 10,000 agreements kept over the course of the next couple of years, you will become one badass, disciplined dude. All right. So men out there listening, take my advice. Start thinking about this. I don't care who knows about it. You know you said it. You know you thought it. It was in your head last night that you were going to do this. And if you don't, shame on you. Right? You know deep inside how important that promise is to yourself. So don't mess with this shit. Don't mess with doing this. You got to get locked in on this. Give it a shot. Spend a week on this. And hey, drop it in the comments. What you loved most, what you tried, what worked for you. You can send me an email, barton@bartonguybryan.com. That's BARTON at BARTONGUYBRYAN.com. Send me an email. I'd love to help you out with this. And the other thing is I have a free PDF workout. So if you're looking for a strength training workout, something new, something to shake it up, send me an email. I will personally send you this PDF as a thank you for listening. And it's great. It's got all the strength stuff, push, pull, legs, some cardio baked in, a weekend warrior type challenge you can do on the weekend. I think you'll love it. So check it out too. But anyway, keep following, keep listening, share this with as many people as possible, especially those 40-year-old guys that you might be in the office with you or your neighbors. And especially if they're struggling, this might be exactly what they need to hear. All right. Until next week. Thanks for listening to the Mindset Forge podcast.